rainy day, but yet it's still sunny. Okay, so the rain is coming, and then the sun is coming out, then it's rain again. Plus, it's a very windy day. Okay, and it brought me right under this massive tree here, where I started my YouTube channel about 78 years ago. Here's where I had started doing my videos, right under this massive tree, and here I am again. Okay, and today we're gonna discuss the two sides of Christianity. Okay, you see, there is a hidden side of Christianity that is not known by the masses, and there is a side that has been given to the masses. Okay, so there is the exoteric and the esoteric side of Christianity, which brings me to my inner experience that gives me liberty, that gives me freedom. Okay, so one is keeping you in victimhood. One makes you feel like a victim, and the other liberates you. That is why you can never live your life based on belief. I do not believe in believing. I trust my experience. And that is what I've been sharing throughout the years. What I would have experienced and how you can have the same experience, but you have to deny what was taught to you from a very young age. In other words, you have to be open-minded. You have to be willing to unlearn. You have to be willing to relearn, and you have to be willing to reprogram your subconscious mind. Now, where I come from, in terms of where I grew up in an island that had been colonized. And I'm going to explain how it was colonized to show you who are the real colonizers on this planet and how this system really works. Okay? Most people are aware of the plantation system because that is what they were taught in school. But very few people understand the psychological and spiritual systems that have been set up to keep you from knowing who you are and the power that you possess. So you have a power that you must activate. While on the other hand, they set up a system to keep you from activating that power that lies within you. So I'm going to simplify it and I'm going to make it very simple for you, okay? Right now, there's a war going on. And on one side of the war, there is money, in other words, the US dollar. On the other side of the war, there is oil and minerals and many other things that even worth more than money. So too, there is a war for your mind. There's a war to control or to dictate how you think or what you think or how you see life. There's a war that is going on for your mind. And Christianity has played a part in capturing the minds of the people to enslave them to the demiurge, to enslave them to the archons, to enslave them to the fourth dimensional beings. Do you realize all these things that we use? Whether is it the cell phone, whether is it the television, whether is it the automobile, all of these different things, they came from the fourth dimension. So you are actually a multi-dimensional being. So you can go from one dimension to another dimension to another dimension. But they put things in place, systems in place to trap you in 3 dimensions, to keep you in the physical realm. So most people, they live their life based on what they see, what they taste, what they touch, what they smell. They keep them in the animalistic realm of existence. They keep them in the 5 senses. And so they never vibrate towards the 6th sense and operating in the 6th sense. They never understand their telepathic powers. They never understand their psychic powers. And they never know how to use them because they use religion, such as Christianity, to rob you from your divinity, to rob you from your identity. So basically, there are 2 sides of Christianity. There is the exoteric and the esoteric. Okay? Now, the exoteric is where they make you believe that there is a man who existed thousands of years ago with special, unique powers. Yet, you don't have those powers. And they make you believe that that man was touched with all your infirmities. Yet, they never tell you if he ever had a wet dream. Yet, they never tell you about his sexuality. But they can tell you that he had disciples, and that one of his disciples used to take his head and put it on his shoulder or on his chest, just like you see P. Diddy putting his head on T.D. Jake's chest. But if you was to ask the clergy if this man was gay, they would tell you that is blasphemy. If you was to ask the clergy if this man was impotent, if he couldn't get no erection, if he never had a wet dream, if he never looked at a woman and lust, they would tell you that is blasphemy and you mustn't question God. And the reason for that, it is because there's a hidden side of Christianity. There's a hidden interpretation of the Bible, whereby you have to understand it esoterically. You have to understand it metaphysically, and it can never happen without you having an experience. Okay? That's what the Gnostics refer to. Now, it is said that some books were found at a place. I'm just gonna sit, okay? It is said that there are some books or some scrolls that was founded at a place in Egypt called Nagamadi. And all the information about those books that was founded at Nagamadi, they are on the internet. And the book of Thomas, the book of Enoch, and all the other books, and so on. People have been talking about those books on the internet. Now, I live in the Caribbean. I do not know anything about Nagamadi or the Nagamadi Library. I've never been to Egypt. But one thing I can tell you for sure is that everything that they're saying, it ties right back to my experience. So how is it that the Gnostics could have been speaking about this spark of consciousness, and I never know anything about the Gnostics or who are the Gnostics, yet I would have had that experience? and can confirm that these things are so. How is it that when they find, I would have found these writings at Nagamadi, and they carry it to scholars and other professionals and so on, and clerics and so on. They read them and they give certain interpretation and understanding to them. How is it that my experience ties right back into all of these things? Which brings me to the realization of who is behind this war system and who has been interpreting the Bible for the people to live their life as victims. Anyone with common sense would realize that the Jews have been playing the victim game. They talk about what happened at Auschwitz. They talk about Hitler. And they've been playing the victim game, and they gave the world a victim and a cross. And make them live in victimhood, believing that they're wretched and they need a savior on the outside. But now, everyone with eyes who can see and who knows about the Epstein file and who knows about all of the propaganda that Israel has used through America, the United States of America, to bring down governments, to have a lot of coup d'etat, and to take over countries. Anyone who have eyes to see would realize that the Jews, they are the ones who are behind colonizing the minds of the people on this planet through Christianity. Anyone with understanding and common sense would know that Christianity is a weapon against your mind. It will decapitate your mind from rational reasoning and thinking. And they make sure that they institute that form of Christianity in the church system, not in the church system, in the school system, in the Caribbean, and especially in Africa. So in short, my brother, my sister, I'm saying to you that there's two sides of Christianity. There's the Gnostic side of Christianity that you need to check out and then listen to someone like me tells his experience. Like, for example, if you was to read The Secret Vagina, Mystery of the Virgin Birth, and you were supposed to read about the Gnostic and read about Sophia and read about the demiurge, and you put things together, you would see where the world economy is heading. You will see why we have this ongoing war. You will see what they want to accomplish. You will see the motive behind Trump and Netanyahu aggression towards the world. You will see the war that is going on for your entirety to control you physically, psychologically, and spiritually. You will be able to see the blindness of secular Christianity that is pointing to look outwardly. And then you will be able to easily assess and judge the behavior of people who come on the internet, and they will judge you, and they will condemn you, and they will call you demon, and they will tell you that you are demonic. And when you read the story of the Christ consciousness and the man who attains his Christ consciousness, you would realize that the religion and the political order would always call you crazy. They will always call you names because you are exposing the system. And that is why for centuries they've been destroying the Gnostics. But the writings of the Gnostics, it was hidden at Nag Hammadi. And when it was found at Nag Hammadi, they tried to shut it down. They tried to keep it away from the masses. And up to this day, they're still working to keep the masses in ignorance concerning esoteric Christianity and esoteric Christianity. So you have exoteric Christianity and you have esoteric Christianity. You have victimhood Christianity that's keeping you as a victim, and it have the true Christianity that would bring liberty to you. That true Christianity is Christ consciousness. It is you believing in yourself. It is you loving yourself. It is you embracing yourself. It is you denying worship to any demiurge or any archons. Is you recognizing the archonic system that has been set up in this world. And the Jews, they are the ones who's behind this archonic system because they're serving the demiurge. They're serving a jealous and angry God that want to keep you on this prison. This planet is a prison, and unless you awake, you will never escape this prison. You'll keep coming back over and over and over and over and over again. And that's why they've been involved in soul chopping your soul in a realm. Okay, they call it woodland. The reason why I could tell you that because I've been there many times, okay? And I know that's where they're chopping your soul. So basically, what the Jews have been doing through their proxies like America, England, and all of these other countries that take over people's land and control their resources. Okay, what they've been doing is that they've been using a system. So if you go back to the police system and you trace the police system and study the police system, you'll see that the police system is what developed into what they call NATO. Okay? And you see where America is like the world police, but the commissioner of police is the one who's handing down the instruction to the police. Well, Israel is playing that role. And that is the beast system that want to dictate who buy and who sell. If you have spiritual eyes, you will see the one who wants to create embargoes on other countries. The one who wants to put sanction on other countries and decide who buy or who sell. You see those who want to determine who gets certain amount of views on the internet and who go viral from who go viral. If they stick with the narrative that they want them to stick with, because they have a certain narrative and they want to carry out that narrative without any opposition. That's why they tell you, you mustn't question God. They tell you that this being is omnipotent and omnipresent. They tell you that this being is perfect, but you mustn't question this being. And the reason why you mustn't question, because if you keep questioning their system, you will see all the holes that are in the system. You see all the things that doesn't make sense. You see all the things that doesn't add up. You see all the things that doesn't correlate with the rest of what science and technology has been proven to humanity. And so to keep this system of control, they have to use fear, because that's how they control the masses, through fear. And what they use to keep you in fear, they use religion, such as Christianity. So they interpret the Bible I just waiting because I want to see this Caucasian man. I wonder why he taping over by me. So why he taping? Anyway, let me just sit down, okay? Because he taping, recording, and now I sit down, he singing. Let me see why he coming over this side. So let me just stand up and make sure, okay? Yeah. So yeah, as I was saying, the role of control, or the rule they use to control the masses, is through their religion and their false god. Okay? So they give you a god on the outside, and they use fear, so you would subject yourself to this god, not knowing that you have to imagine this god. So they're sabotaging your own imagination. For example, the people who believe that there was a man who existed thousands of years ago named Jesus, and he had blonde hair and blue eye, he was a Jew, and so on. The people who have that kind of belief and that kind of concept, they have to imagine that there was such a man. So if you have to imagine that there was such a man that did exist, it means that your imagination was and is and will always be before such a story as such a man. And if you study such a man, you would realize that he had no religious affiliation. If you study such a man, you would realize that he had no political affiliation. So how come the church system today is affiliated to politics? How come today the religion of Christianity become church and state? So my brother, my sisters, when you follow secular Christianity that is pointing to look outwardly, when you interpret the Bible exoterically, you will always end up with church and state. You will always end up with the enemy. Yet, you'll be speaking about a savior. But the savior was hated by the religious system and hated by the political system. For example, what was the name of the religion that Jesus followed? If you believe in Jesus. If you believe in Jesus, what was the name of his religion? If you believe in Jesus, what was the name of his church or his denomination? Which church or which denomination he was following? Which political party did he belong to? So basically, I am saying to you, there's always two sides of everything. There is always the inner and the outer. There's always the up and the down. So once you master the law of correspondence by understanding as it is above, so is it below, then you will understand my conversation in my book called The Secret Vagina, Mystery of the Virgin Birth, where I share my experience of giving birth from here. So there's a birth that takes place down here, and there's a birth that takes place up here. But the birth that takes place up here is a birth that takes place within and expressed on the outer in the realm of the non-physical. So above my skull is the non-physical. So most people are aware of the 7 chakras, but most people never go beyond the 7. You never hear they talk about the 8 and the 9. Because why? They're invisible. Okay? So to go beyond humanity is to go beyond your skull. Get that? So when it comes to Christianity, there's a Christianity that goes beyond the skull. The Christianity that goes beyond the skull is your Christ identity, your Christ consciousness, where you will come out of the empty tomb, this body. So one is pointing you to a cross and keep you as a victim, and one is teaching you of the Christ energy or the Christ consciousness that is within, that will bring you liberty. So your existence on this planet, you could live your life in mental slavery, or you can live your life as a free man. You could be liberated. You could have a liberated mindset if you learn to trust your intuition to lead you and guide you. If you would accept a mentor that is pointing you to look within yourself, to find yourself. If you would believe the fact that you are here searching for yourself. If you would believe the fact that you're born here in a state of spiritual amnesia. You forget your spiritual self and you trap in a physical world. That is why you cannot remember anything when you are a month on this planet, or when you were 3 months or 4 months or 5 months on this planet, because you're born in a state of spiritual amnesia. You forget who you are. But there is a Gnostic esoteric interpretation to the Bible, which is the true Christianity, the one that points you to look inwardly, the one that points you to your true identity. So the Jews, they are the Antichrist. They are against you discovering your Christ consciousness. They are against you discovering your awareness. They are against you knowing who you are and discovering your higher self. And the reason why they want to keep you in that state is so that they could make rules to govern you and to judge you. That is why they take the real justice system and they give you a carbon copy called the judiciary system. So as I was saying, if you study the police system, you study the judiciary system, you study the system of law with lawyers and judges and so on, you run that same thing right into NATO, and you bring it into all the different countries. You come through the Commonwealth and all of that, and then you come up to NATO and all of that. You will realize it is the same brain that is behind all of that. Because you run that same system now okay, to the local churches and their pastors, to their bishops, and to the deacons, the altar boys, and so on, the bishops, the archbishops, and so on, until you reach right up to who? The Pope. So the papal system is tied to the governmental system and also to the educational system. That's why they have teachers and they have principals and then they have deans and so on. It's the same system, and it is what? A hierarchical system. So they set up a hierarchy system to rule over you. And then if you take the hierarchy system and you draw a pyramid, the shape of a pyramid, you find at the bottom of the pyramid it is crowded. And as you get higher up the pyramid, you'll find that there's one man who could stand at the top of the pyramid. That's why they put an eye at the top of the pyramid and the US dollar. But that represents the ultimate intelligence that you must discover, which is your Christ power. And that is why they make you mark an X. Why you think Malcolm called himself Malcolm X? Why you think the boy Elon Musk called his space ambition X? X represents Christ. X represents Christ. And Christ is a consciousness. And that consciousness is awareness. So I am saying secular Christianity keep you unaware. In other words, exoteric Christianity keep you unaware, while esoteric Christianity, which preachers cannot teach esoteric Christianity, because esoteric Christianity is only known by experience. Gnostic Christianity is only known by experience. And that's the difference. So I'm saying there's two intelligence. One is fake and one is real. That is why Christianity, secular Christianity, is based on belief. You only believe something that you can't prove. You only believe something that you do not know about. So believing is hoping. So you live in an empty hope, false hope. That's why they are always saying Jesus coming soon is always soon. They can't be specific. He always returning soon. Yet the same religious people says that they have the Holy Spirit and they're speaking in tongues, and they say he's supposed to return. He returned to them as the Holy Spirit. You see the contradiction? You see the contradiction? So basically, secular Christianity is confusion. Religion is confusion to keep you confused. But self-realization is experiential, and it doesn't keep you confused. It brings liberty to you. It sets you free. So I'm saying, right now we're in a prison, and I'm giving you the key to break out of the prison. And the choice is yours. That is why we are born with a free will. We are given free will. We are always given a choice. So there's always a man who will have an inner experience, and experiences Christ's self and break every form of victimhood and realize that you've been brainwashed and been deceived. And that man would be the man with the key. That is why he says, I give you the keys to the kingdom. And whatsoever you bless in the esoteric, it will be blessed in the exoteric. And whatsoever you curse in the esoteric, Because in the exoteric, so when you say whatsoever you bless in heaven, and whatsoever you cause in heaven, it will also be caused on earth. You have to understand the exoteric and the esoteric. You have to understand the inner and the outer. You have to understand the man who been given the key. You have to understand that that man represents faith. Because faith is not blind belief. Faith is knowledge and experience based on experience. Woo! Feels so good, boy. If you only get that faith is based on knowledge and experience. Faith is not blind belief. Many years ago when I was trapped in secular Christianity, man, I used to listen to a man. I used to listen to everybody who preached on faith, and I couldn't understand it. I couldn't unfold it because it was fake. There was a man, that was named Kenneth Hagin. I think he's still preaching, an old white man. He used to talk about faith. He preached more faith than anything else. I listened to them and I still can't unravel. When I really get the experience of what faith really is, and I understand faith is based on knowledge of self. I understand, when I understand that faith operates based on you understanding your physiology, your biology, your anatomy, your psychology. When I get to understand that faith is something that is in the invisible realm in you, and you have to draw from that invisible realm and transmute from that invisible realm by understanding energy, vibration, and frequency. When I understand it that way, then I start to create my reality consciously. That's when I break every form of slavery, and I was no longer a slave of money. I wasn't following money any longer. Money was following me. And still following me and have to follow me because why? Money is my servant. That is why, my brother and my sisters, if you do not understand the trap of secular Christianity that wants to keep in mental slavery, you'll always live in a mindset of scarcity. You always live in a mindset of lack. But what the Gnostics knew by experience, you can find it in nature. You do not have to go to Nakamari. You do not have to find the books that was stolen from the from the library at Alexandria, the Nahamadi library. You don't have to find those books. All you need is an experience, and the melanin that you have in you can help you to get that experience if you're willing to unlearn and relearn and reprogram your subconscious mind. So my brothers, my sisters, let me say this. When I come to the realization that there's actually two sides of Christianity and two interpretations of the Bible, and one is to keep in stupidity, one is to keep you a slave, one is to make you a victim, and I realize one is to set you free. I realize that if I want, I could be like a Joel Osteen, I could be a T.D. Jakes, I could be a Creflo Dollar, I could be like any one of these men. I realize how easy it is to brainwash people and to deceive gullible religious people. I realize if I wasn't a man who decided to stand on integrity, okay, I could have come on the internet and I could have get a Christian audience following me. All I had to do is just continue saying Jesus, Lord, and God. That's all I had to continue saying. Even though, if in my mind, I know I'm not speaking about no outside entity, all I had to do is just say the words and the fool would interpret it their way. Because they already have them to interpret it that way. So all you have to do is mention the words. That's why you have so many men on YouTube, okay, fake Christians who just want views, okay, and who want to make money. Okay, they have my name, I think it's Alan Pa, he's one of them. You have my name again, the Vigilant Christian, he's one of them. Man, you could just send me the names of them, and I tell you, there's so much of them. West Huff, all of these kind of people, don't bother with them. Okay? They're grifters. they would do anything for a dime. They would say anything for a dime. Okay, but when a man could come on the internet, you understand, and he could stand strong, and he could say, free Gaza. You know that this is not a man that ready to kiss ass. Because you know what you say, free Gaza, and you say the people of Palestine, you understand, have a right to live. Okay, like anyone else. You know, people who is in the NBA, they can't say that. They don't have that liberty. They could have millions of dollars and all kind of thing, but they have that kind of liberty. People who play football and all of these different things. People who's in the entertainment industry. There's a DJ man, wait, DJ Kali, something like that. I think he must be from the same Palestine, so he couldn't say shit. You understand? So when you see certain celebrities and certain entertainers and certain people and influencers, when you see they get silent on certain thing, you know. Ask kissers. When you see certain preachers, they can't say certain thing. When time of COVID, they couldn't say anything. When time of COVID, I'm making video. I wasn't afraid to talk about COVID. I was calling it scamdemic and plandemic. You can't be afraid of anything when you understand the real Christianity according to the Gnostics, which is only through experience. That is why I could confirm that what they would have found is definitely the truth. And the mystics had to bury it. And you know, in the right time, it will fall in the right hands. And at the same time, there will be awakened ones on this planet who wouldn't sell themselves to economic forum. I remember Sadhguru used to talk all kind of thing. And when the time of pandemic, he started to talk shit. He started to see true color at Sadhguru because he was knocking heads with certain people at economic forum and this and that. That's why from a very young early stage when I started YouTube around 2017. 3 times they reached out to me. 3 times they reached out to me to join their bullshit, their cabal. And I refuse. Because you can't use money to buy me. You can't buy me by money. Okay? I'm not for sale. I'm not going to compromise with no one. I speak the truth. Okay? So my brother and my sister, I discover for myself that there's 2 sides of the Bible and there's 2 sides of Christianity. And I know which one set me free. And I'm introducing you to the one who set me free. And I'm telling you, we set you free too. When you realize that the Bible is mind science. It's not religious book. When you realize the Savior have 2 middle fingers, and one for the politicians and one for the preachers, you set yourself free. And that is why if you have more influencers coming out and say free Gaza and speak against the unlawful war, the uncalled for war that is going on, where America and Israel being the aggressor because they want to strengthen the empire and they want to strengthen the dollar and they want petrol power to strengthen the dollar. If more influencers, what they're going to do? Shut down all the influencers? They need you more than you need them. Do you realize that they need you more than you need them? When I realize that they need us more than we need them, you understand? I know I'm going to stand with my integrity. And I'm going to die with my integrity. And I know I am free. I'd rather die a free man than die a slave. I'd rather die a free man than die a slave. What so much men? They have so much money. They have millions. They have villa in what is it, Malibu. They have down in the valley. They have all over. But yet they're not free. I speak freely. Because that's my right. Okay? So my brother and my sister, do not accept the fake Christianity that the Jews give to the world. Okay? The Bible is all mind science. It's all about. There's nothing no one could tell you that was done. That wasn't false a thought or false an idea or false imagined. Do not believe these stories to be literal and secular history. They all have to do with your psyche. They have to do with your physiology and your biology. It's all about you. You are here and you're searching for yourself. And when you find yourself, you realize here is a prison and you must escape out of the prison. And there must be someone that have the key. Well, I have the key to the kingdom. And I'm telling you that the kingdom is within you. The kingdom is not outside of you. And there's no God on the outside that wants your worship or want your servitude. No, we are here to serve each other with our gifts, our creativity. You have to be God in action. Your information is very important to everyone on this planet. So when you withhold information by joining your secret brotherhood and being part of some elite, and think that you're more intelligent than the rest of the people, and you're above the people, and you set up a hierarchy system to be above the people, you're deceiving yourself. Because everyone has been given a choice. So who want to become a consumer and have a consumer mentality? Let them do it by their own choice. Not by deception. Because as I said before, if I want, I could deceive people. All I have to just say is Lord and God and Jesus. And I could deceive people. I could have a church with thousands of people. It's just this morning I was talking about a preacher in Trinidad. And you could Google his name, Vindial. You could just Google Vindial and the $28 million, and it's what we're talking about. And I used to leave my country and I used to go down Trinidad when they have convention by that same church. I know the man just, I used to have conversation with the man face to face and everything, but all the time knew something in me, all the time tell me, because I have certain, like for example, let me give you an example. I end up and I spoke to a man who was a pilot. Okay, at the time I was a postman working at the post office. I have been convinced the man in a way to believe what I was saying. Okay, and to start to believe this kind of teaching. Okay, and when that same man came up to my country, that man Vindial, and I was speaking to them concerning this pilot, I remember he tell the other brothers, he said, this man is not an ordinary man, no. This man is a pilot. This man is a pilot. And that guy, the pilot was an Indian man, and Vindial was an Indian man in Trinidad too, okay? And so, because my mother and so on, and so live in Trinidad and so on in Trinidad, and I see the black people at the bottom in Trinidad, just like how they are in most parts of the world, the Indians up there and the Caucasian people and the Chinese people, they're more up here and so on. And so I said to myself, when I go down there in convention, I will see how you're going to treat this pilot man. And this is when I realize he's a respected person, and I see people had him up on the head table and so on and all of that. At the same time, I look around to see, the same time, the same men there look at me too. You understand? So he don't know my energy and I don't know his energy. Okay, and I realized that this man had some sort of esoteric knowledge, not the fullest, okay, and he used it, okay. So to cut a long story short, they find, first of all, he went into the bank with $28 million, and the reason why he went with $28 million is because Trinidad was going to change their currency, the $100, only the $100 bill. They was going to change the currency to crack down and money laundering and all of these things, they say. And he went to preach and say, oh, they said chop for Daniel. He called himself Daniel. Huh? And he carried into the bank $28 million in 28 different boxes. Okay? And they said they can't change the amount of money. They have to call in the central bank and so on. And that's when the police came in and so on, confiscate the money, lock him up, and then they went to, well, they didn't lock him up right away. They leave him, and he went to church and was preaching the Friday night, and he said, I see all of you come out in the numbers. And basically he was saying they come out because they're looking for gossip and commerce, or to know what's going on with the money they seize, okay? And then they find $2.6 million otherwise in the church. So those was like $50 bill, $20 bill, $10 bill, $5 bill. If you check, if you type in and Google, you will see even me do video and thing too. And that, Vindial is the name. Okay? Yeah. And he only had about 1,000 people in the congregation, 1,000 plus people. But he was selling books, he was selling tapes about William Branham and all of that. And William Branham was a man who was trained by the imperial wizard of the KKK, okay, and the Masons. And he started a false revival around the world and the fake miracles and so on, and deceived millions of people in Africa. And then he set up what he call Jehovah Jireh, which was bringing in like 100 million a year. Yeah. And this man come from down in the south, Jeffersonville, Indiana, down there. Okay. And as I said, he was trained by the imperial wizard. Okay. A man named Roy E. Davis. You could go do your own research. Okay. And so Vendial was connected to those Branhamite people and so on, right? And I was told to go there until I had a certain dream after I found some tapes and listened to the man and didn't know who the man was. And I got a certain dream. And when I wake up the dream and think, my spirit tell me to go there until, and the until was 7 years. But all of that was a part of training me for what I am doing here right now. So if a man could use a congregation of 1,000 people and he could have already amassed $28 million, because when I used to go down there, I used to ask them, I say, you are claiming that you are not a denominational organization. So where you are registered as, because I know all these churches have to register, whether evangelical or Pentecostal or whatever. Okay? Nobody couldn't give me no answer. So I knew something was wrong. Okay, so as I say, you could go on, you could check it out yourself. Vindial in $28 million. Okay? So this whole church thing is all about business. And then the same Friday night when the police was counting the money in the church and his man was preaching sermon, he told the people, the congregation, that once the word's so inside of them, they can't escape. They can't get it out of them. That man who understand. Then the man who used to train up in my country here, you understand, when he speak, he used to all the talk about subconscious mind and so on, but at the time, we didn't quite understand what he was saying. And he said didn't understand what he was saying. Because this man Vindel used to speak to him on the phone. Okay? And then I come down and unfold the whole thing. That's how I start my YouTube channel. Go back to my YouTube channel, you see, I started out exposing Vindel and so on. That's how I started out. And then 1 year before he went to the bank with all the money, okay, the $28 million, I said on a video that the ministry is done. It's the end of the ministry. And I did that video the oldest day and posted the new year. And exactly 1 year, the oldest day, is when he went to the bank with the $28 million. And then the thing came out, in the article came out in the newspapers in Trinidad, the New Year's Day, the first. And I speak it before. Okay, and then everybody, when I start to do videos, they start to call me devil. They start to say all kind of things. They say, oh, he's smoking weed. Look at my eyes. I look like I smoking weed. They say he smoke weed, he do this, he do that. All kind of things they say, especially those in Africa and so on. There's a lot of people who didn't even like me when I started to speak the truth. Okay? But they see the truth. And it been exposed. And a young man now go now break away from him and start his own. Okay, so that's how the system is. So my brother, my sisters, okay, I'm gonna come to a close here, right? But I'm gonna read all of the comments, okay? But let me say this. I'm saying to you, the Bible could be interpreted to keep you a slave and keep you a victim. And it could interpret in a way to set you free. And I'm interpreting it the right way to set you free. That's what I'm telling you. Don't look no outside for no Lord and no Savior and no Redeemer. Nobody coming to save you. You have to save yourself. The Christ power is within you. You have that Christ consciousness in you. And you have to activate that Christ consciousness by learning to change your belief system. You have to be willing to unlearn and relearn and be willing to reprogram your subconscious mind. Okay. Now I'm gonna check the comments. Okay. Someone says greetings. Okay, Santana Wall, 88, nice having you. Um, greetings, BlackMadGuru, nice having you too. I am worthy. 13th. Remember you're the 13th one. You have 12 disciplines or 12 powers that follow you ever you go. Okay, and remember, love is number one. Okay, you got to love yourself and you got to believe in yourself. To love God is to love yourself. To believe in God is to believe yourself. Don't make the fool you. There's no other God. Okay, there's no God outside of you that want to worship. Don't make them fool you. Someone say greetings, everyone. Tight eye, nice having you, my sister. I am already telling that is what people lack, being open-minded. They do not want to let go. Savior complex is what they have. Yeah, people don't like change, okay? But change is definitely important because that's the only how you're going to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel, okay? Someone said the truth was always inside you. I'm just reminding you, okay? And that is my I'm trying to remember the I'm trying to remember the person who's helping me out here, okay? Yeah. So all I'm doing is basically reminding you of what is already inside of you that the church wants to always keep dormant in you. That's why they interpret the Bible to you a certain way. That's why they give you Christianity a certain way, but the Gnostic know it the real way because it is true experience. Okay, so if you want to call me a Gnostic, I am because true experience. Okay, someone says keep speaking the truth, my mystic brother. Thank you very much. Okay, mystics have all been hated by the church. We've been hunted down and killed by the church for this truth. Yet, we are here still bringing the truth to humanity. And when I say humanity, I'm speaking about having this human experience. Someone says interesting. Someone says, greetings, BlackMadGuru. It is truly refreshing and rewarding. Oh, that's name right, yeah. And rewarding to hear you lecture on this critical topic. Most would not dare to confront Christianity, but only warriors refuse to bow to pressure. And I mean to say, to be honest with you, when I now start to wake up, I mean, I was scared. You understand? I was scared. Okay, but when I take to the internet and I start to get all of the confirmation and I understand what was really the experience I had, okay, and what this was really all about, okay, and when I realize how much death is inevitable and understand life on a higher level, all fear gone, man. I no longer fear death. Okay, I'm not afraid of anything. Okay, it doesn't matter what they do to this body. My soul lives on. I remember one night in my sleep going back to a past life when the church killed me by jungling, and I came out of my body in a lotus pasture, seated like the Buddha, and went through the water. I know this body cannot, this spirit in me cannot be destroyed by water. It cannot be destroyed by fire. It cannot be destroyed by anything. And everything in this world is earth, wind, water, fire, and you are the spirit. Okay? All of the bombs and guns they're using in this war right now with Iran and Israel and America. Okay? It goes back to the elements. Nobody fool you. So nobody fool about atomic bomb could destroy world. Foolishness. This atomic bomb thing is scandal. Yeah, many people go dead. Yeah. And then it ain't gonna help them either. Okay, that's why when you really think of it, no one wins a war. A war is about loss. You blow up my thing, I blow back up your thing. You blow up my thing, I blow back your. It's stupid. But when you look at it in a deeper way, you realize it's feeding their gods. Their gods feed off fear, guilt, judgment, condemnation, you name it. But they feed our fear. So it's a God that feeds our fear. It's an envious and jealous God. that they are solving. Yeah. And the fees are fair. So it's always I, me. You understand? And one is claiming to be a winner, and one is claiming to be a loser, and both of them losing. You have to be stupid to listen to Trump and talk, but we winning. Nobody wins that war. Everybody losing. They losing life on both sides. They losing infrastructure on both sides. Okay, be sure to like and comment and so on if the message resonates with you. And if you like to get my books, the links are down in the description. Check out my books, they're all available on Amazon. Someone said Kabbalah is referred to by rabbis as Jewish Gnosticism. So basically, you agree with them. I agree on that level of you awaking within yourself to find your Christ consciousness. But what they did, they brainwash you with secular Christianity to make you believe that the Kabbalah is demonic and that the Kabbalah is magic they use and so on, and they make you think that magic and miracles is different. They make you think that magic and science and technology is different. That's why I know they're checking the people. The Kabbalah is not a teaching. The Kabbalah is an experience. Just like alchemy is not a thing of knowledge. It's an experience. So I know what I'm talking about. So when you talk about Kabbalah and the tree of life, when you hear me talk about your backbone and the base of your spine, to the back of your head, come right up to your crown chakra and so on, you think it's knowledge I'm talking about? When you hear me say, if you put your hand on your hip, your two hands on your hip, that's the sign Israel have on their flag. When I mentioned it earlier, when I explained that to a pastor just before he died, and he tell me all his life, he wanted us to know what it really means. And he accept that, but he couldn't accept the story of Jesus and Mary and so on. When I tell him, he couldn't accept that. But he accept what I tell him. It make a lot of sense to him. And he was from since I was a little boy, he saw the greatness inside of me, and he was telling me that since I was a little boy. And I went to see him before he passed. So with the Kabbalah is experience. Everything that's stolen from us, bro. Yeah, everything stolen from us. Because we have the oil inside of us. Why you think Africa has so much oil and rare earth minerals and so much a thing in Africa? You think Africa is just a geographical location? No. It's about what's inside of us as melanated people. Why do you think we carry the complexion of the earth? I talk all day. So when people talk about Kabbalah and you say, oh, well, if you do, you agree. This is not an agreement. It's an experience. This is a knowing. But the person say, oh, so you agree with them. But the person ain't going to turn around and say, oh, well, because you had the experience, that's why they want you to join the Kabbalah. That's why they was offering you certain privilege on social media if you join the Kabbalah. Say that. Some people just comment, don't know if you comment. Because sometimes they don't listen enough. They only listen to respond. They don't listen to learn. So, the person say, oh, you're agreeing with them. So you're trying to say, oh, you're speaking as if you're against them, but I agree with them. You could only speak against something if you understand the thing. You understand me now? People always say, oh, the kingdom is inside you. Of course the kingdom is inside you. Anybody could say that. But I am telling you by experience. And that's why it makes sense. Everything takes place within. Someone said Gnosis and Gnosis is real and you can receive hidden knowledge, no doubt. But there is a cost to be paid on your soul. There's no cost to be paid on your soul. Okay? Because the sun and your soul is no different. without the sun. Look, when people start to talk shit to them, man, let me educate this person here, man. You realize without the sun, there's no life and there's no light. And without the human imagination, there's anything made that was made. So the price you're gonna pay, you understand, is that the world could turn against you. All the people who grew up around you can turn against you. That's the only price you could pay. Okay? You're gonna pay it on your soul. If it was gonna pay that price on your soul, why they want to bring an economic famine on top of you, which they know can't happen? So they try to slow it down on the internet, they gonna try to shadow ban, they gonna try to do all of these different things. But they know they can't stop you. They really, really cannot stop you. They can't be stopped. So, say, speaking about Gnosis and so on without any knowledge, without any experience, okay, I am telling you, there's a price you have to pay with your soul when you join church and when you follow any religion. And I could tell you the price you have to pay. Because I've been to that land where they keep recycling you all the time. So I know what I'm talking about, bro. Okay? Let me just read another comment. Somebody say, I'm a devout Christian and do not attend church. I have a prayer altar in my house. You don't need to follow a church, brother, or the spirit of religion. But right now, you're following the spirit of religion. Okay? Because you say you have a prayer altar in your house. There's only one prayer altar in my house. One house of prayer. Okay, that's why I don't open my mouth and talk to no God and no outside. I beg, I beseech no God. Anything I want, I create it. And I do it consciously. So to say you don't need, you stop go church, but still in church. Okay, a lot of people stop go church, but the seed of Christianity is still inside of them because they never recognize their own divinity. Okay, so to say that, okay, that you are a devout Christian. What kind of devout Christian you are? Exoteric or esoteric? And to say you're not attending church, but you want to have a prayer altar in your house. All you do is just change location. Then you turn around and say you don't need to follow a church. It means you used to follow a church. And you still following a church. Because this is the real church, and the only church there is your body is the temple. Someone says, but you believe in the sky, daddy. No, I do not believe in the sky. Oh, maybe he's either speaking too. That's not different from someone who attends church. Okay, someone answer him right there. Because there's no sky daddy, bro. The good old 80s sky daddy insult our original brother. So you're an atheist who denies God. Good luck with that. I don't believe I have experienced firsthand. You see, most people fail to realize that atheist is anyone who do not believe in the power that is within himself. That's an atheist. So once you went to church and you belong to some religion or something, you're atheist and you don't even know it, and you calling other people atheists. I remember one time a man tried to give me a check and I said something to him and he said, oh, the fool says in his heart, there's no God. And then I did a video on that and show you who's really the fool. Who's saying in his heart. His heart is speaking of his subconscious mind, the place of existence. When he don't believe in that place and he looking some on the outside to some place and saying, oh, Jesus coming soon. That's an atheist. Someone says here, I am worthy 13 says, I think this person answering back, the so-called person, he said, I'm not an atheist. I shed religion and I'm spiritual, a spiritualist. Source universe lives in me. I refer not to call my creator God. There are so many gods out there. This person still needs some clarity, okay? It's a part of waking up still and coming to the realization. You'll find you know, they're still using certain terminology from Christianity and so on. Okay, but all in all, this person seeking more of the spiritual self and more on the spiritual side. So continue on the journey. Okay, you're on the right path. Religion is a medical diagnosis. Yeah, it's a medical diagnosis to keep you dumb. Okay, they diagnose you, okay, to see if you are mentally retarded or not. Okay, because people who are religious superstitious, they're actually mentally retarded. And to prove that, many times I will say to a person that the Bible is a book of mind science, and they will use their mind to tell me it's not mind science. They're mentally retarded. Someone say, I left Masonry to follow Christ. I have experienced Gnostic vision, astral visions, and ultimately was saved by Christ and left Masonry. You can choose to believe me or not. No, I do believe you, and I'm going to explain something to you. You see, the problem with you is that you join something, okay? And when you join, it is because of lack of knowledge. When I speak, I never join anything. As a matter of fact, when it comes to Gnostic, when it comes to Hermetism, when it comes to energy, vibration, frequency, when it comes to all of these things, okay, I never join any secret brotherhood. The only thing I ever joined and was a part of was Christianity, the church system. And so when I started teaching on the internet, many people all over the world was reaching out to me, asking me if I'm a part of some secret society and so on. Never joined no secret society. I would never join any secret society. I remember a young man in my country met me one time and said, bro, those things I hear you speaking, those are things that are esoteric. What are you doing messing with the esoteric? I said, why is esoteric? He said, those things that you're speaking and believing and so on. I said, I don't believe anything. Everything I speak is from experience. He said, well, that's esoteric. I said, why is esoteric? He didn't really give me a definition, so I got a resort where it's esoteric. So I didn't know what was esoteric. So I said, wait, it means that this young man, because he was saying how he gets saved and he joined Christ. And I said, this young man want to join something and he get frightened. Okay? And so I go back and I challenge him, and he would not dare tell me, oh, we know about esoteric. When is he's the first person I learned the word from? He don't dare open his mouth and speak. So you under that kind of fear, you go through some sort of initiation. I never go through that. You come in, you talking shit and think you could educate somebody and tell them that you leave fucking masonry. Why go and join masonry in the first place and tell them, but no, you don't find Christ? You think anybody that's stupid? You think I'm that stupid? Up to this day, this young man can't open his mouth to tell me who introduced it to esoteric. And he was asking me who introduced me to esoteric. I said, nobody. I didn't say nobody hell was esoteric. People reached out to me and told me, bro, I know you read the Kybalion. I said, Kybalion? Then I go and I have the book. And I never read any book. And to be honest with you, I have the book and I read the book because I've been uncovered those things before. I am telling you, when you have certain experience, you go open up certain things. So when people go and join secret society, right? Somebody have to invite you to secret society and have to decide whether they're going to accept or they're going to accept you. And then it's only the people at the top who know certain things that you don't know certain things. That is no different from joining a church. Because people who join secret society don't join church too. Let me find the name of this person here who just make that Masonry. RK so-called 28. Bro, listen to me. Do you know you have priests and all of these kind of people who go in church and think within secret society in Masonry? Yeah, man and pulpit running big churches, tell evangelists and all things belong to Masonry, so can shit you chat in here. And talk about you were saved from Christ and left Masonry. Bro, what kind of trouble is you talking? Man, the pulpit in Mason. What? I have a business that ain't too far from where there is a secret society, okay? And the secret society just have I normally say IOMPU. That's the abbreviation. I don't know what it means. If somebody could provide me that information and tell me what it means, I would definitely appreciate it. IOMPU. Yeah. I think that is the abbreviation that is there. And they have the sign of the compass and the gate. If you look good, you'll see it. Okay? And there's a lady who I know long time when I used to work at the post office, right? And I just wanted her to trust Pratt to catch a wheel. And I say to the lady, I say, I see you live close to this secret society. I say, you know, I never really ever see it open and people attending it. I say, you ever see anybody going there? That's all I needed was to say because I know the woman. Okay? The woman started to tell me everything. I say, yes. Such and such a policeman, let's go there. Such and such a person, even the priest, let's go there, just come and shut me up here. I knew the woman. I know the woman will tell me everything. So when you're talking about you get saved by Christ and thing, and from Masonry, what shit you talking about? Preachers and thing, then Masons and all of that, join secret society. Someone says, yeah, the so-called Holy Spirit is Baal's spirit. Yeah. There's only one spirit, you're born with that spirit. And that's who you are. There's no other spirit. You understand? And that's why when you come to remembrance, see people who say that Holy Spirit, what else remember? They don't remember shit. They don't remember not one thing. Speaking a bunch of nonsense. When they never experienced no tongues of cloven fire over above their head. They never go behind the skull. That was story talk about the upper room, you know. They never go in no literal upper room. But they must speak universal language. They say everybody could hear them in their own language. It's the universal language of consciousness they talk about. See how we could open it and make sense? No literal room, you get up in a literal room. Someone said there is only one God. Brother, there are many fallen angels with God-like powers that can appear to people as gods. Now, let me explain this thing to this person here. Okay? There's only one power you mean to say. There's only one energy, that's what you mean to say. Okay? There's only one intelligence, that's what you mean to say. You're speaking about this embodied spirit. Okay, I've seen them in many different ways and many different forms. Okay, and you're calling them fallen angel. Now, let us define an angel. What is an angel? An angel is a messenger. What bring message to you and what take message from you? It is your own thoughts that bring message to you and from you. An angel is also angle alight. It's how you see things. It's how you perceive things. So if you're living in your lower self, okay, it's a fall and you have negative thoughts. That's a fallen angel. You see things from an angle, from your lower self. You see how all the things that people say, how I could take it and I could make sense of it to you. So when you say, oh, there's one God, you give an impression that there's an entity in a being. And the reason why, when you read the Bible, this God they give you in the Bible, which is the demiurge, Yahweh saying, I am God, and there's none but me. It's showing you one who wants to usurp authority, right? It's showing you jealous, envious, and you're seeing all the traits of that in religious people. People who goes to church, the biggest gossipers. They will destroy you with the mouth, with the tongue. They're more dangerous than any atomic bomb. We talking. We talking. So you trying to tell me what happened? You keep quiet. I had all kind of experiences. Okay. So someone answer back him to they say, please, Nimrod say, please explain your need to follow anyone. Okay. As simple as that. Explain your need to follow anyone. With that belief, you will always be in what? Servitude and never free. You see, belief would never make you free. That's why I don't believe in anything. I don't believe in anything. I work based on experience. When you awaken, you never follow, but lead and guide to freedom. So I don't follow no one. Experience and nature. Experience and nature is my teacher, no other teacher. I do have a look on the outside for anything to lead me or direct me. So you live in unbelief. You're disempowering yourself by having belief. Believe me, you're not sure. Someone says a Christ walks through the altar of your heart and the Holy Spirit dwells within you. Why would I follow my own pride and works? You can tell this person here from the comment, they've been brainwashed through Christianity and they're still using the terms that the Jews give to them through Christianity. Okay? This person still need to know who they are. They still need freedom. Okay? But at least they are seeking. They are seeking. Okay? So Christ is not a man who existed thousands of years ago. No, 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 no. It's an intelligence that's inside of you. That you must activate that intelligence. And it can only happen through experience. And it can never happen unless you force and learn, relearn, and then reprogram your subconscious mind. They grape your mind from a child. They don't censor you, so they say don't use certain words, don't say certain words. So they grape your mind from a little child. That's why if you check out the Epstein file, they're pedophiles. Mentally, psychologically, they're pedophiles and spiritually. And then they do it physically. But now get the thing, man, get the thing. That's why they've been, these Jews, they've been behind the pornography industry. They're running OnlyFans. Wall Street scammers, all kind of thing they be. Everything that's corrupt. These people, man. The things they do to babies. Come on, people. Come on. Wake up. So when people talk about Christ and Holy Spirit, you're still brainwashed. You talking about Bible, tell you go and kill everybody. No, don't even spare the animal. And then they say, the prophet turn around and asks, have you killed everything? And Saul say no. And he says, so why is he bleating at the sheep here? And I say, well, I saved them for sacrifice. Which God was sacrificed by blood? If there's a God that was sacrificed by blood, then bring on all the bombing and the shedding of blood. Go and shoot up schools. That's what they normally do. You can shit you talking. Yeah? If there's a God that want worship and sacrifice and animal and blood and all of these things, then how could you condemn Boko Haram? How could you condemn the Muslims? When your Bible is saying the same thing. I am saying to you, the Bible is not pointing you to look on the outside. It's a book of mind science. You have to understand everything taking place in your consciousness, in your awareness. Somebody say, are you mixing Jesus with Buddha and Hindu meditation? If so, why justify? Go and read your own Bible. You're talking about Jesus. Go read Matthew 6:6. As a matter of fact, let me quote for you, man. Okay? If you read Matthew 6 and 5, you say, well, you mustn't be like the hypocrites. Who's a hypocrite? A lot of people do not understand a hypocrite, you know. Let me tell you who's a hypocrite and explain to you. A hypocrite would believe that there's a God on the outside, look for God on the outside, and they'll turn around and ask you, do you believe in God? And they do not know they're asking you an esoteric question. You know how dumb that is? A woman asks me that question and I tell her I'm not that dumb, and she get offended because she understands. You know how dumb that is? You asking an esoteric question and you don't even know it's an esoteric question you're asking. Why do you think they put on the money in God with us? So, yes. So it tells you the hypocrites, they like to be seen and heard, and that heard in the spirit. They beg and beseech and speak to God on the outside. They look at prayer exoterically. That's what the Bible says, not me say so. Your Bible that you read say so. Then he say, you must go into your closet and must close your door. The closet, the secret place is this place they say talking about. Your eyes is the door you must close. That's the doorway to your soul. I say you must speak. Your Father is secret. How are you going to speak it? Through meditation. Through meditation. Let me show you how ignorant. And you say wisdom is mine, okay? Let me show you how dumb people is. Do you have a cell phone? Wisdom is mine. Do you have a vehicle? Do you have a house? Do you have clothes that you wear? Do you know all of them came to meditation? Do you know all of them came to visualization? Do you know that the tailor or the seamstress cannot sew your clothes without a design? And that design comes from the mind, and they draw it out in expression, and then they make you the dress or the clothes. Huh? Do you know that? Do you know every day of your life is a meditation? Every moment of your life is a meditation. You see how dumb it could be? You see how Christianity that make people dumb? Secular Christianity. You see how religion that make people dumb? Every moment of your life is a meditation. Every moment of your life is a meditation. So if you meditate in nonsense, you speak nonsense, and you live a nonsensical life. You meditate in religion, you live a religious life. As I said earlier before, with religious people, they eat, sleep, shit, and repeat. And then they talk shit, and they have nothing to offer to the world. But this, what I'm offering, is food for people's soul, uplifting people. There's no burden, judgment, and condemnation on no one. You understand? And they tell you, and then you think that Jesus is different to Buddha and Hindu. But it's the same thing. All of them leading to self-realization when they understand the secret part or the esoteric part of their teaching. I could go and study Hinduism and come up with the same result. I go and study Buddhism and come up with the same result. I can study every religion on this planet and come up with the same result and show you it's all about self-realization. It's all about the mind. Grab a hold of your mind and then you're using the word wisdom. Come on. Religious people always think they're wise when they're dumb. Someone said thank you. Someone said wisdom is mine. Someone answering wisdom is mine. You've obviously never read the New Testament, brother. Go Google how many times it mentioned the word meditation. Okay. And you never read even Psalms 1. Those who meditate on the law, you'll be like a tree planted by the river. A water that brings forth fruit in due season. That's why they don't bring forth nothing. Religious people don't bring forth nothing. That's why they have to take the vaccine. Choke in your arm and choke up your ass too. And that is right in the Bible. The vaccine thing was right in the Bible too. When they used to take your ace to the all, to the doorpost and bow you with the all, as a sign that you're gonna remain faithful to your slave master in the year Jubilee when the Jubilee trumpet blow. And you refuse to go out. Many of you refuse to leave all the freaking job in the time of the big scamdemic. Weak religious people. And they take the vaccine, coming here and talking shit. When the time of COVID, they couldn't even speak. People, I used to go next to a church, not too far from where I live, and laugh at the people clapping and singing with a mask over their face. Idiots. Someone says it's amazing how much you look like my grandfather. He's from Jamaica. Okay. All Caribbean people, one people, man. Okay. Caribbean, African, melanated people, one people. Okay. Someone says here, someone was answering RK. Okay, Soka 12828. You have chosen to believe in stories of a man, but not yourself. You see? BlackMadGuru is here and obviously awakened. Do you believe in him? If not, explain. And when the person say in him, I mean, what you think it mean? That which is in me. Because that which is in me is supposed to be that which is in you. So if you can't believe in yourself, and I believe in myself, you would never be able to believe what I'm saying. Oh boy, it's so hard for people to believe in themselves. They believe in a preacher. Gino Jennings making so much money from Jamaicans. And he living like a lord in America. All these preachers living off of the people. And the people believe in the preachers more than they believe in themselves. I hear a man from Africa say he believes in Jesus more than himself. Oh my. Woo. Someone said, did you even know what the fuck meditation can accomplish. The person don't know. Tell me, gospel, Jesus verses where it mentioned meditation and why meditate. But I just mentioned one. At least I don't mention one place you can find the word meditation. Okay, put the exact version. He explained. Okay, I don't mention even in Psalm 1 you can find it. Okay, the word meditation. He tell you to meditate. Psalms 4:4. He say must come in with your own heart upon the bed and be still. Where that be? That's meditation. You see, carry it between the lines. Because I could ask you to show me where in the Bible it have the word rapture. You believe in rapture. And then it in the Bible. And where in the Bible say that children will be given birth to children. And it in the Bible neither. Okay, so you see? This thing go on and on and on and on and on. And he said, did you even know? I don't, he mixing up always saying, right? Can accomplish. Because I was saying that everything come from meditation. Okay, everything come from meditation. Everything have to be visualized. Everything have to be mental. Interesting name, brother. A biblical name and the deity these groups worship. Nimrod is the builder of the Tower of Babel, one world government, and Christ is the cornerstone, the builder. The builders rejected. Now, this thing about Nimrod. Nimrod is a state of consciousness. Okay? It's a state of awareness. Okay? To think that Nimrod actually built a building going up to the sky, you have to be an idiot. It's a communication civilization it is talking about. So if you want to think because the man say he's a Nimrod, okay, the man have a communication link that going taking him up to the heavens, into the higher place. You see, so when you people come on the internet, you either come to learn or you make yourself a fool. So you talk about Nimrod, the mighty hunter, and he tell you he built a tower. Why do you think all of these we're getting Wi-Fi and internet and so on? And it is who can control language. Is who control language. Just be running the world. Why do you think they could censor you and so on and all of that? If they want, they could shut down Farrakhan from all the talking. They could shut down anybody. You think this is? But they can't shut down the power inside of you. So it's a communication network. Like Tower Babel. And then when you talk about Christ, the cornerstone, okay? Christ is a state of mind, is a state of consciousness too, that you reject. For you to believe in some entity on the outside, you have to have self-doubt and self-hate, and you have to reject your non-physical self to accept some non-physical entity outside of yourself. Everything happening in consciousness. Wow. Done an hour and 30-something minutes. So definitely going to close and I don't read this comment. Someone said Jesus didn't say meditation is the way. He said he is the way. He never say he is. He never say he is the way. He said I am the way. Could you say I am and not referring to yourself? But he said he is the way. It's about a person and not a technique. Bro, let me put some sense in your head. If you go and you read in the Bible, you say, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Could you say, I am and not referring to yourself? Huh? Wisdom is mine. Would you like to have a Zoom call with me that we would bring on the internet and show the world? Would you take up that challenge? I am the way, the truth, and the life. Could you say, I am for me? Could you say, I am for someone else? You stating that you saying, I am for Jesus. Are you so dumb? Wake up and say your wisdom. You make yourself look stupid, man. I am. So I am is the way. Well, here it is. Right? The universal, why is the universal question of life? Everybody in this life would ask themselves at one time or the next, who am I? And when the answer comes, it has to be what? I am. I am the way is way, within. I am the truth is way, within. I am the life. The life is what? Within. It's not a man outside talking that for you. So when you read in the Bible that it says, I am God, we talking about? You could say I am for somebody else? Wow. And then he turned around and said, what a load of crap. And he don't know the big crap coming out of his mouth. And I did he making more sense than what he's saying. And everybody here who listen know that I making more sense than what he says. And everybody else who commenting and trying to help him. And we trying to help him. You understand? And he being so strong-headed, being so dumb. Continue to give the pastor your money, man. Dumb people like you have to suffer. Because you have to always give your money to somebody else. Go pay tithes and offering. And go when the supermarket and talk about how pricey the things and the shelf is. Then he say someone says the Nimrod is Osiris in the Egyptian pantheon and Apollo in the Greek pantheon. We're trying to ask if it's the same thing. And someone say you are basically devil who wants to corrupt gospel, you see? Now, as I said, they always turn to name calling, okay, when they can disprove what you're saying. And then he say gospel, spell, gospel, the gospel, gospel. And we are teaching you and telling you words are spell, and the preacher using spell on you and casting a spell on you to keep you dumb. Those are not my words, it's your word. You calling someone devil, okay, and you say they want to corrupt your spell, what you call your gospel, your gospel, gospel. You don't even know the preacher telling you gospel. When you go to school, they tell you to do what? Spelling. You're casting spells, and you don't even know spells have been cast on you to keep you dumb. And you say you have wisdom. Change that name, man. Get a different name. You have no wisdom. Then he will say now, this scammer need to be reported. You don't need to report me. They already shadow ban me. And you're so weak. Okay? That's what we're going to turn to report. We're going to report to say. We're going to turn on you. They say whenever you dig a pit, you better dig two. One for yourself. Don't mess with me, boy. Go try it. And you see what will happen. I ain't going to do you nothing. But I know the power. Okay? I know the power of when someone casting a spell, a wish, and how just to return it. I just returning it back to you. You casting a spell and I just returning back the spell to you. You've been scammed all your life by preachers. That's you turning and calling people scammer. Since I hear you speaking, I asked you for something. I asked you for tithes. I asked you for offering. I tell you I want money to build an orphanage in Africa. Huh? I tell you so? No. Let me just read these rest comments here. So why don't you come off the man video if you don't agree, you see? Simple as that. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, come off the video, go. Go listen to TD Jakes and Joel Osteen. Why ain't go listen to them? Someone said this man ain't begging no one to watch. Of course, never begging nobody to watch. These religious people are always coming and they're staying on and deep within, you know. They when you speak, you know, something making sense and hitting their heart, you know, but they can't deal with it, you know. And it only could last so long with them. Within a minute or two, they don't fall right back into the spell, under the spell they're under. And he using the word gospel, and it's a gospel. And they tell you it ain't gospel. And it mean good. No, go spell. Go can't spell. Respect, bro. Respect to you. Someone answering wisdom. They say, wisdom is mine. Christ is the only way, brother. No one comes to the Father except through him. What did I say that would make you think otherwise? All my comments are speaking against works or pride. Okay, I want to talk about Christ. Okay, is the only way, right? The way is within you. And Christ is the oil at the base of your spine. The Christus that must awake. Okay, it's an experience. It's not a person outside of yourself. Okay, everything takes place within you. Nobody can fool me. I can't be fooled. I can't be brainwashed. I already gone beyond humanity. Once you go beyond your skull, you're gone beyond humanity. You live in another dimension altogether. That's why I could create consciously and not unconsciously. That's why I do not believe in secular Christianity. That's why I could recognize all the people who carry the wrong colonial mentality. They colonize the whole Caribbean with secular Christianity. They're pointing them to look outwardly. And they make sure they put it in the school system. So this religious idiot, which he is, by showing it, okay, so you can't see idiocy and call it out. Because he making all the comment and showing his idiot. He say meditation is all Hindu tradition. That's not true. This has nothing to do with, look, listen to me. Okay. Every moment of your life is a meditation. Even the words that you are typing, it's a meditation. That is why they were able to brainwash you by making you think that meditation is something that you practice, when meditation is every moment of your inhalation and your exhalation, which is the life force that is in you. Gee, my, people so dumb. You look at the state of our religion, especially Christianity, are people so dumb. Do you realize for you to have this human experience, it starts with an inhalation and it ends with an exhalation? Do you realize when a person dies, the last breath is an exhalation? And this guy come and talk about wisdom is mine. Which wisdom you have? You have no wisdom at all. Yeah, some people just hear what they want to hear. Especially dumb religious people. Religious people are the dumbest people on the planet. Someone say force yourself to come watch. Report yourself for corrupting yourself. That's what you're supposed to do, report yourself for corrupting yourself. If you don't like what I'm saying, don't listen to me. Just go listen to someone else. Someone say greetings to you. Someone say greetings, my brother. I haven't seen your videos in a little while. My video, I always post in videos. Sometimes you might not see my videos because as I tell you, sometimes they do shadow ban you. Okay. Neighbor, responding to this person, you have done everything but answer my question. I will never surrender my awakening to worship anyone. If your God has everything, he should not even need your prayers. That's what I'm saying. Which God wants your worship and your adoration? That's no God. It's a false God. You have to be stupid to believe that. You have to be dumb. Which God who going to be omnipotent and omniscient will want your worship and your praise? What good will it do? It's a false God. The demiurge, man. Someone says, wisdom is mine. You're watching a stream about a guy preaching Gnosticism, and the Gnostics spent many hours of the day meditating. You seem a bit confused, brother. Exactly. Just go where you're going. Move on. There's so many different channels. You could go watch another channel. You don't have to listen to me. If you don't agree because it's not for you, the deep call it to the deep and only the deep will respond. I'm not speaking to you. I'm not speaking to everyone. I'm speaking to people who are open-minded. Someone saying no one should allow you in church. You are a devil. Look, this is your church. There's no other church. There's no other church, bro. I am not your brother. I am. Oh, no, man. Me ain't give you no energy, man. Can't help people like that. God child but want to hear what the man saying. Can't leave. And hey, joke. These people say them is God child, right? Are children of God. If you look at the child of a cow, you call it the calf. That calf will become into a adult cow. Okay, if you look at a pup, that's a young of a dog. It grows and become an adult dog. If you look at the young of anything or the child of anything, it grow and it become the adult thing. Okay, but these children, these people call themselves child and children of God. They always remain a child and children of God till the day they die. They suffering from a disease of when you don't grow. I forgot to call it dwarfism. They suffering from dwarfism, mental dwarfism and spiritual dwarfism. Someone said Jesus never said sit still until you feel enlightened. Nobody do ever sit still until they feel enlightened. So you don't know what you're talking about, yo. He said, follow me and do what I do. Okay? If you also follow Christ and do what he do, right? You know what he do? He speak against all religious bodies and against all political powers. That's what he did. He went in temples and chased them out. You do that? Huh? He never married. You married, you just look for sex. You see how these people dumb? This person is a real dumb boy. He real dumb, and you should have named yourself dumbest mind instead of wisdom man. You have no wisdom at all. If you don't agree with him, come off this video, of course. Just go. Then he say in meditation practices, the goal is to empty the mind. Jesus taught to fill the mind with his words and to stay connected to him like a branch to a tree. Well, all you have to do, don't go to work, don't get a job, don't do nothing, just fill your mind. But what Jesus say? Because when you fall asleep, what are you doing? Is your mind empty? So it means you're supposed to just have your chattering mind going all the time. The chattering mind just chattering, living in your monkey mind. No wonder why you come on this chat with a bunch of monkey behavior and monkey comments. Oh my. Someone say respect BlackMadGuru. Respect to you. Read your Bible, brother. How many times does God order people to meditate on my words? You don't read. A meditation is simple technique to bring clarity, but it won't give wisdom. Wisdom come from experience more bitter than experience. Comes from experience, okay? You see, a lot of people who never meditate and don't understand meditation, they think meditation is spending long hours sitting down and trying to quiet your mind. So you have to leave those people in the ignorance. It's nothing like that. Okay? Every moment of your life is a meditation. Okay? In meditation is, okay, so I don't read that. The wind is drowning you out. Okay? It's a very windy day. Okay? I might just have to speak a little bit louder. Someone say, well, the same wisdom says experience comes from reading and practice. So, okay, so if a person can't read, then they can't get experience. It's still using gospel, and he knows a spell, but not sitting with nothing in your brain, fool. And he calling people fool. You think meditation is nothing in your brain? No. Meditation is about calming your mind down and listening to your breath. Your inhalation and exhalation, which is the very life, the life force. That's all meditation is all about. You see, oh my, man, keep giving your money away, man. Preachers, I should build a church to have people like you, man. Take all your money and go on a kind of vacation. Someone say, is the Kabbalah. that Abdullah taught the same as the one being taught today. There is no Abdullah that taught no Kabbalah to Neville. Okay, Neville is a liar. Don't get caught up with the Neville thing. Neville is a liar. Neville was a part of Rosicrucian, okay? Neville belongs to a certain brotherhood. Neville lineage could be traced back to England, and from England go all the way back to these fake Jews, okay? That's why they are the ruling classes in the islands. Right now, Neville got that family have the biggest business in my country. I don't see true Neville and all of that. That was just a part of my journey coming up there and so on, okay? So the Abdullah Neville got that, just have to switch it around. Okay. Once the Bible is primitive ancient book that talks about the talking serpent, the talking donkey, and giants believing in this. I question if you are an adult. Okay. All of these symbols that they mentioned, the serpent is a symbol, the donkey is a symbol, and I could open up all of that. I could tell you the symbol of the donkey, I could tell you the symbol of the serpent, I could tell you all of these things. Okay, what they really all about. I could, believe me, I could break them down and so on. But I just want to read these comments and you know, because it's almost 2 hours. Someone say, I know Hinduism and Christianity very well. Both of them are the same thing. Okay, leading into the same part when you understand it. And the esoteric level, I bet you believe in Father, Christmas, and fairies as well. Most Christians believe in those foolishness, okay? So, people believe in those things. Okay, tell me what is the biggest command you learn in 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 gospel. I don't know what he's talking about. Okay, because gospel is spelled. They can't say spell. Okay, so every day of my life, I always command because my mind is the commander and the Lord and the master. I command my body. My body is a slave to my mind, and that's what he can understand. Okay, you just got done preaching about the exoteric and esoteric, but now don't understand that there is an exoteric altar and an esoteric altar. Your temple, a heart. Yeah. When I talk about exoteric and esoteric, I'm saying the exoteric is the things on the outside. Once you focus your energy on those things on the outside, like worshiping an exoteric God, believing in an exoteric God, you're missing the point. Okay? Esoteric is from within. So anything I want is from within. It's been done from within. If I want money, I do it from within. I can close my eyes and imagine and count money, and it will come to me. Okay, I've done it over and over. That's why it doesn't have a day in my life that I don't count money. Every day in my life, I counting money is my money. Okay? Someone say, bye. I had enough with this energy vessel. Yeah, we had enough. Okay, definitely gonna come to a close. Their mind cannot think outside the perimeter set for them. Everything outside is fair to them. Yeah. That's Plato allegory the cave. That's exactly describing these religious people and these religious minds. Okay, they're in a paradigm. You have to leave them. Someone said, thank you, BlackMadGuru. Someone said, left masonry for Christ from frying pan to fire. Yeah, they jump out the frying pan into the fire. This guy is so confused. Narcissism is a Christian version of Kabbalah, yet he praises Gnosticism and Nagamadi text. But the Christ, Kabbalah, it's the same thing, brother. Okay, this person here, okay, fail to realize the Kabbalah that these Jews are talking about and the experience of the tree of life in you is two different things. One is stolen and one is by experience. Damn, this person not getting it. One is stolen and one is by experience. I listen to Rabbi Friedman and all of these rabbis and things, and I could tell they're always quoting and talking. They can't tell you no experience, bro. Wake up. Kabbalah is not no book. That's what you think. Cha. Narcissism is not no book neither. That's what you think. Wow. People think they just go over the head. Think go back to experience. It's an experience. The 7 Sephiroth in Kabbalah are the 7 planets. The archons are God in Gnosticism. People always come up with all kind of things that they don't know anything about. Someone said this is a low IQ conversation. Christ is king. God bless. Okay, good. You have high IQ. You see, some people just yap, and they can't tell you whether they experience. What you experience? What experience again? Because I also felt the shake and astral projected. Okay, God is consciousness, pure consciousness. Imagination is the power of God. God is principle and the underlying essence of all. Christ comes from Egypt, Kemet. Okay, it's better to know than to believe, of course. And that's what I'm saying the whole time. My guru, hope all is well, sir. Glad to catch another live. I'm here to learn, guru, teach. Thank you very much. Okay, let me just read all this first comment, and I'm definitely gonna end this live. The shadow is the greater teacher. You will know eventually, definitely. Christ is super consciousness, of course. Sophia is the consciousness. Okay, wisdom too. Okay, our children escape the evil island. The creator was looking out for us. Okay, the creator is the creative power inside of you. Okay, yes, so much truth has been revealed and all that they do to kids. This is the most awakening time in history. Yes, everything been exposed. Okay, I want to thank Santana, okay, for donating $10. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And to be honest with you, whatever a person would donate here, it means so much in terms of, because I understand money in the way that I understand it. Okay, it's like a man giving you $1 million because you're gonna take that little bit and you can multiply it in so many different ways because you understand the principle of money and basically how to circulate it. That's why I'm so grateful. That's why I'm so grateful. So they tell you Christ, Jesus, okay? They tell you how Jesus Christ multiply bread and fish, but no preacher could do it. But when you really understand what I understand, okay, through my experience, you understand how to take your 5 senses and use the conscious and the subconscious mind, understand the energy, vibration, and frequency, and you will never have any lack and scarcity in your life. That's why you can start from 0. That's why you can start with $10. That's what. Let me tell you something I normally do. There's a supermarket that I shop, and you use a card and you get points, and I take those same points, okay, and buy item in that same supermarket that I circulate and bring back more money. By things, but with my points, I can start different businesses with my points. Just the points that I get from my supermarket, from going and shop, doing grocery. That's to tell you when you become more aware, when you wake up. And let me say this, every time I go in the grocery and people complaining about the prices, I was a Christian. I was a Christian. I always turn around and say, you're a Christian, you go to church? As I was, yes. Someone said, teach them, but wake them up. Okay, another person said, love the show today. It was very lively and interactive. Gratitude, thank you, BlackMadGuru. Greetings from Trinidad, brother. Thank you. Trinidad is greeting to you too. Appreciate you too, my brothers and sisters. I appreciate everyone. Okay, this is the last comment here from Nimra, my brother. You are truly appreciated. A great discourse for those who resonate on the same frequency. Thank you very much, because it's only those who resonate on the same frequency would understand what I'm saying. So, my brother, my sisters, I've read all the comments. I want to thank you all very much. I want to say to you, if the things that I've been saying, if the things I'm teaching is very helpful to you and you want to support this work anyway, I'll definitely encourage you to do so. I have a PayPal if you want to support. Also, if you just want to send me a book, okay, I have a wish list from Amazon, okay, and any book you wish to send me, I would appreciate it. Okay, I always want to keep having as much books as possible and keep expanding my library. So anyway that you want to help this work, I definitely appreciate. I want to thank you all very much. Stay positive, continue to believe in yourself, continue to love yourself, and continue to embrace yourself. And never believe in no God outside of your consciousness or your awareness. To love yourself is to love God, and to believe in yourself is to believe in God, because God is in you. There is an in God and an out God. Get that? Religious people worship an out God, we worship in God. The people who know that, they say in God we just, and people miss it. So with that being said, my brother and my sisters, I just want to say peace. Love you all.